Good Tuesday evening on this first day of July, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison said today the cost of the manhunt for accused child murderer Travis Decker has now topped $6 million. The so-called One Big Beautiful Bill passed the U.S. Senate early today. We'll have reactions from Kim Schreier and Patty Murray. Sunny, breezy, and still hot Wednesday, raising fire concerns across the area. Your full local weather forecast is straight ahead. Wenatchee Valley College has reached settlement terms with a science professor who sued them last year over alleged gender-based harassment and retaliation she faced while at work. Bobby Johnson's story was a focus of NCWLIFE's Campus Crisis Special, which investigated claims of a toxic work environment created by male colleagues in Wenatchee Valley College's science department and lack of action by leadership. The settlement, which is still awaiting final approval, awards Johnson $1 million. Her lawyer, Sean Phelan, told NCWLIFE News as part of the agreement, Johnson will not return as a professor this fall. WVC declined to comment on the pending settlement, but Communications Director Marcine Miller said since the fall, the college has worked to improve Title IX procedures and created a committee to help improve communication and decision-making among leadership. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison said today the cost of the manhunt for accused child murderer Travis Decker has now topped $6 million, shared among multiple police agencies. Morrison gave an update to Chelan County commissioners this morning. The 32-year-old Decker has been missing and sought by law enforcement nationwide since June 2nd, when his three young daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, were found asphyxiated at an Icicle Creek campsite west of Leavenworth. Their father was the last person to see them alive. Morrison says after wide-ranging searches throughout the Cascade Mountains and elsewhere, recently the search effort returned to the scene of the crime.
We did put out a ground unit on Saturday of over 30 people that did a grid search around the campsite, extending out, following up on additional information. We inserted additional units into the enchantments area that did follow-up searches. We had our cadaver dog out again. That was not the first time we've had cadaver dogs. We've had cadaver dogs out from the beginning. We also had our search dogs out. We've had additional ground teams following up. We've received additional results back from State Patrol's crime lab that did not come back to be a match, and that was just an area of interest that we were looking at on the Kittitas County side. So we'll continue to follow up, but we did get positive confirmation that the DNA from the crime scene does match up with the DNA that we believe to be Mr. Decker's. So I know there's a lot of questions on that. Was there a match? Yes. Based off what we have, yes. And there were no other suspects that have been identified so far with DNA samples that we've gotten back from the crime lab. And we'll have additional National Park Service team that is going to be deploying in the high school. That's going to go from above the campsite all the way down to the Columbia. In addition to our Swiftwater team will be in there again. And we'll continue to search with our GoPro cameras that we had going in the water for areas of interest. So we're very much still invested in that process, and we're going to continue to search until we get to a point where we feel it would not be a vital utilization of our funds to continue to go through there. But I'd point out a lot of the teams that are in there are volunteering their time and their resources. I wouldn't say volunteering, they're paying for the bill, but they're not billing Chelan County. And I'd imagine so far this operation has been over $6 million is what we're getting, generalization, and majority of that has not been billed back to Chelan County. If we had to take on the investigation by ourselves, I'd imagine we would have eaten up close to half of our budget.
The sheriff says Travis Decker could soon be placed among the top 15 on the U.S. Marshals Service Most Wanted list. A reward of up to $20,000 is available for tips leading directly to his arrest. If you have information about the case, call 1-800-336-0102 or visit usmarshals.gov/tips. The Royal City Public Library is the latest branch of North Central Washington Libraries to be reimagined. The renovation was a community-led effort by the Royal City Friends of the Library with support from local donors and contractors who helped significantly reduce the cost. NCW Libraries also supported the investment through the $10 million Reimagining Spaces project. The library is now about 4 times the square footage and features a children's reading area, a large community room, room and a historical archive room. North Central Washington Libraries and the Royal City Friends of the Library Group are welcoming the public to a grand opening celebration on Saturday, July 12th. Okanagan County will soon see a new judge on the Superior Court bench. Governor Bob Ferguson today announced he's appointing attorney Rachel Hong to fill the judicial seat being left by Robert Grimm. Hong has worked as a litigation attorney as well as a career law clerk in U.S. District Court in Seattle before opening a practice in Okanagan County and working as manager of an organic pear and apple orchard there. She's also a nonprofit board member and a volunteer attorney with the Northwest Immigrant Rights Project. Judge Grimm stepped down effective today to run for mayor of Winthrop, the Okanagan County town where he and Hong both live. Hong's appointment becomes effective on Thursday. When we come back, the U.S. Forest Service is estimating the Palmus Fire burning 36 miles northwest of Entiat will not be contained until October. The so-called One Big Beautiful Bill passed the U.S. Senate early today. We will have reactions from Kim Schreier and Patty Murray. And the Washington State Department of Natural Resources is commemorating National Wildland Firefighter Day tomorrow. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710. Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
The U.S. Forest Service is estimating the Palmus Fire burning 36 miles northwest of Entiat will not be contained until October. The lightning-caused fire began on June 13th and has grown to over 1,700 acres. The Palmus Fire is within the footprint of the 2015 Wolverine Fire and is being fueled by heavy-downed woody material, grasses, and shrub patches. The fire has closed nearly 30 trails, 9 roads, and 6 campgrounds. 3 hand crews and 3 helicopters are working to construct a direct line along the southern flank of the fire, and crews are planning for fire protection on private properties south of the fire area, though no structures are currently threatened. The so-called One Big Beautiful Bill passed the U.S. Senate early today. The huge budget reconciliation package championed by President Trump would boost immigration enforcement budgets and shrink the number of people covered by Medicaid if the Senate version is passed by another vote in the House. The Washington State Hospital Association warned today that many hospitals would be forced to cut services or even close as patients lose Medicaid insurance. 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier calls the bill morally despicable. Washington Senator Patty Murray, also a Democrat, has been a persistent foe of the bill. She spoke as the vote approached last night, saying the measure is widely unpopular with Americans.
Nearly 2 in 3 Americans view this bill unfavorably. That goes up to nearly 3 in 4 when they learn it will kick millions off their health insurance. And it goes up to nearly 4 in 5 when they learn it will choke off funding to their local hospital. The Republican plan is still going to mean over 16 million people losing health care as patients get kicked off their ACA plans. Kids and struggling families will get kicked off Medicaid. Rural hospitals are going to be forced to shut their doors. The Republican plan is still going to mean more starving families. New red tape is going to cut people off from their SNAP benefits that they need to put food on the table. And it is going to take away kids' school meals. The Republican plan still rips away support from the people in this country who are struggling the most to give away billions in tax breaks to billionaires who need help the least.
The Washington State Department of Natural Resources is commemorating National Wildland Firefighter Day tomorrow. DNR Commissioner Dave Upthegrove and firefighting leaders statewide will join him in Ellensburg to urge public caution over the 4th of July holiday. The day recognizes the dedication of wildland firefighters and support personnel who work to save lives, property, infrastructure, and natural resources every season. National Wildland Firefighter Day is always July 2nd and is part of a week of remembrance which began yesterday and runs until July 6th. This year's remembrance follows the tragic deaths of 2 wildland firefighters in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho on Sunday who were shot and killed while responding to a wildfire. Coming up next, high on Badger Mountain stands the Vista Hut, a gazebo that overlooks the Badger Mountain ski hill outside Waterville. In tonight's feature story, we will learn about the Vista Hut's place in the town's history. Still hot tomorrow with windy conditions possible, raising fire concerns. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Palmus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous farmers market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Palmus Market. Palmus Market, where community meets.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
High on Badger Mountain stands the Vista Hut, a gazebo that overlooks the Badger Mountain ski hill outside Waterville. The structure is owned by the town of Waterville, dating back to 1939, and it's begun to show its age. Community boosters are holding a fundraiser to help save the old shelter, which generations of townsfolk have used as a gathering place during ski season. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE News met with Waterville's mayor and museum director to talk about the Vista Hut's place in the town's history.
My name is Lloyd Smith, Mayor of Waterville. I have a small business in Waterville, the local barbershop. I've been there about 16 years. The city owns this property, the entire development up here on the Vista Hut. Yeah, it was a historical site that was dedicated, I believe, back in 1938, 39, and that's when the township declared it as the Vista Hut, and so the community has always supported it. We do have the rope tow. This last year was the busiest year they've had in almost 30 years. When the snow flows up here, the people come from all over the state. And from what we understand, that this was one of the original, earliest ski slopes in the state of Washington. It's not just skiing, they do a lot of cross country up here.
It's a very important historic part of Douglas County, it really is. And of course the town of Waterville owns this hill and owns this spot where this sits, so it becomes part of our responsibility as a community to make sure it's maintained. They built this out of native lumber here on the hilltop. You know, because it's native lumber, it's starting to show the wear and tear of aged wood, and the ground, you know, it's rotted out off below ground in several places, and it roof needs some help. It's got some holes in it. It's been used for picnics, it's been used for club gatherings, it's been used for family gatherings. Of course, it has been a lover's lane for 70, 80 years now. Beautiful, spectacular view. You know, we're sitting on top of a hill and can see most of the plateau, can see the ring of mountains around us. Can't see the Columbia, but we can see about everything else. And so the beauty of this spot and the serviceability of this spot has been a known part.
Our goal this year is to replace the roof area. It's almost on the verge of being a fire hazard at this point. Yeah, the metal roofing will last for many, many years to come. We're going to be pouring concrete next year just because of the finances. And we're going to put a concrete slab through here. There'll be a concrete border and we'll stabilize it. We've already done core samples on the posts. There are 2 posts that need to be replaced. We're looking at less than 10,000. Right now we're doing QR codes and doing donations. So, and we're looking at trying to do a grant, but unfortunately anything that's 50 years older or older, grants are now really being prohibited.
Originally we thought we'd have to just tear it down and rebuild it, which would be a $30,000 project. It is a historic preservation, it really is, and look, you know, just to look around says this is an absolutely spectacular part of Douglas County. It really is. It's a beautiful part of Douglas County, and we want to protect it.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast, and I hope you stayed cool on this awfully hot Tuesday all across North Central Washington. Boy, temperatures well above normal. We'll get to that in a second, but outside our weather window, it was a hot one up north too. This is our Billy Goat Tower camera overlooking the Methow River where it joins the Columbia, and also the town of Pateros and Brewster right there in the center of your screen. A few clouds to the north up that way, and we saw a few high clouds as well around our area, but boy, it was a scorcher around our area. We're going to stay that way on Wednesday, but the problem as we get you into Wednesday is we are going to see some breezy conditions, maybe even windy in some locations, 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts possible, especially in the afternoon and evening tomorrow. And one of the problems with the fire concerns we have with the wind and hot temperatures, very low humidity, between 10 and 20%. So boy, be extra careful tomorrow with temperatures still in the 90s and those breezy conditions. So it could be very, very touchy out there in lots of locations tomorrow. Unofficially today, high temperature, we almost made it to 100. 99 degrees, just 2 degrees below our record of 101 that was set in 1987, and obviously well above where we should be for this time of year. 83 is our normal high. How about this low this morning? 73 degrees, 58 is our normal low, and our record low 48 set in 1979. Sunrise 5:08 this morning now, and sunset is at 9:01. All right, as we get you into your Wednesday forecast, temperatures will cool down slightly, but it's still going to be well above normal with mid-90s expected in the Columbia Basin, Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. Low 90s in Ellensburg all the way into Wenatchee and up into Omak. 88 for Lake Wenatchee tomorrow. tomorrow and around the 90-degree mark for both Leavenworth and Kashmir tomorrow. As we move forward into your 7-day forecast, overnight tonight 68 degrees, so still very mild overnight tonight. And then a couple of breezy days, both Wednesday and Thursday. We will cool down as well, down into the mid-80s by the time we get to Thursday, 85 degrees then. Back to the mostly sunny weather for Friday and Saturday, 86 Friday, 89 your high temperature on Saturday. And then by the end of the weekend and the start of next week, our next heat wave begins. We'll see sunshine and 90 on Sunday, 93 your high on Monday under sunny skies. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Remember when you could afford to have fun on 2 wheels without breaking the bank? Maybe you started on a Honda Z50 or a Trail 70 or one of the most popular Hondas of all time, the Trail 90. Well, Honda and Doghouse Motorsports are making fun affordable again. Introducing the Honda Monkey, the Dax, and the new updated Trail 125, all featuring fuel-injected 4-stroke engines with electric start. The best part of all, they are affordably priced under $5,000. Whether you're just getting started or you want to get back at it, Doghouse Motorsports has you covered.
Hi, everybody. Dan Kuntz filling in for Eric Granster for Sports. Cal Raleigh hit his major league leading 33rd home run of the year, and Randy Arozarena went deep twice. That adds up to a victory, 6-2. The final over Kansas City. Arozarena hit his 100th career homer. It was a solo shot in the 4th. That gave Seattle its first run, and in the 5th, he broke the game open with a 3-run bomb, his 10th of the season. It was his first multi-homer game for Randy Arozarena in almost a year.
More of the plate with that one, and it's off of Young's glove. That's it. So Bobby Witt Jr. made contact with 2 strikes and lined a base hit off of the second baseman's glove. Now Vinny grounds it right side, and Young slides on the grass and throws him out.
Cole Young, and he's getting to that point now. We saw this with Ben Williamson, where he's starting to loosen up a little bit defensively. Get that extra step. And I feel like when you see these guys defensively, especially when they first get to the big leagues, you don't want to make mistakes. You play a little tighter. You're trying to make sure you're covering everything. Walker, because Mariners hitters are being aggressive.
Randy, a deep drive, right center field, gone! Arozarena, his 100th career home run. A milestone blast for Randy Arozarena. It ties the game of the 4th inning.
I'll tell you what, Randy Arozarena has been smashing the ball of late. Plenty of hard hit contact for Randy. This time going right center. Good to see.
Now trying to give the Mariners the lead. High fly into right field. Rave is underneath it. Young is coming home. The throw at the plate, not in time. Cal Raleigh, a sacrifice fly in the 5th inning. He's put the Mariners in front 2-1. Walker deals. Hit hard. Center field. This is really belted back. It's his 2nd home run tonight. Randy Arozarena, a 3-run bomb to blow it open.
We talked about looking for something down and reacted to that pitch right there. He has done such a better job in the last couple of weeks getting his hands above that ball right there. Fastball up in the top of the strike zone.
Deep out to right center field. Does he get enough of it? Yes! Number 33, Cal Raleigh. Now tied for the third most home runs through the end of June in Major League history. Just an epic first half for Cal Raleigh.
Man, unreal. The hang and break 'em all, number 33.
Into center field, Julio finds it there. That's the ball game. The Mariners take game one of the homestand in convincing fashion over the Royals.
After the game, Arozarena spoke about his 2 home runs and Cal Raleigh's 33rd.
It feels really good. He was looking for that pitch. He didn't miss it. And that was his home run number 100, which he's been looking for a long time now. He's very happy because this is number 100 here in MLB, and he only hit 3 homers in Cuba. He had been waiting for a month, but the 101 one was really quick. He had confidence on his swing and how he hit it, and he knew that it was had more distance than the first one. He's not impressed. He's expecting that because Cal works extremely hard. He sees him all the time, and everybody knows that he's got a lot of strength, a lot of pop.
Brandy, fantastic game. Grab that trident and go celebrate.
Game 2 of the series is tonight at 6:40 on Root Sports. Emerson Hancock will toe the rubber for the Seattle Mariners. Michael Lorenz gets the ball for Kansas City. Pretty light day in the world of baseball. Luckily, Houston didn't play. We need Houston to not play for like a couple of weeks. They didn't play on Monday, so we got a half game back on them. We now are 6 games behind the Astros after last night's victory. Rangers fall to 9.5 back. They lost in extra innings, and the A's beat the Rays. Well, the Wenatchee Apple Sox are going to have to try again tonight to win the first half of the WCL North Division title. They need to take 2 of 3 from Kamloops, and they didn't do it last night. They lost to the North Paws. The final was 5-4. Wenatchee's Mitch Haythorne took a no-hitter into the 5th, but then Kamloops got on the board. That trimmed the Sox lead to 3-1. And then Kamloops sent 8 men to the plate in the 7th inning. They scored 4 runs on just 3 hits, but they took the lead, and they would not relinquish that lead. So a Wenatchee victory tonight keeps their first half title hopes alive, but they got to win tonight. If they don't win tonight, Bellingham will win the first half of the WCL North Division. The Apple Sox and the North Paws will get going at 6:35. So you have to play 27 league games, and that constitutes the first half of the season, but not all the schedules are the same. Bellingham has already played 27 games, but if Wenatchee wins tonight and wins tomorrow, they have the tiebreaker with Bellingham, and they will win the first half Northern Division title. Again, if they lose tonight, they're going to have to try and make the playoffs in the second half. And those are your scores last night, by the way, from the WCL, a light Monday slate. And those are just some of the games that people are playing.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
The pitch by Busich. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Kamloops North Paws on Tuesday, July 8th. Coverage is brought to you in part by Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Tacos Chava, Together for Youth, and Valley Tractor. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball, NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
What once was old now is new to the NCWLIFE channel. Tune in for Bonanza.
Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCWLIFE Channel, your local TV station.